Happy 4th of July. First and foremost, I want to thank all troops in our armed services for the sacrifices they and their families have made for our freedoms in this great country. In this episode, I get a chance to sit down with Mario Martinez from the Gowen Field QRP, and he is able to show us how important recycling is not only at his facility, but at all military bases across the nation. Take a listen. All right, welcome everybody. I'm here with another episode of Recycled Idaho. I'm excited for this one. I got my guest here, Mario Martinez. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing good, man. It's Friday, and we're going into the weekend. We've had a long week here at United Metals. I've been busy again. Things are feeling like they're trying to turn back to normal on the volume. So it's been real busy, and it's nice to get back to somewhat normalcy with what's going on out in the world right now. How about you guys? You guys busy?
Yeah, we're picked back up. Things are hopping, and we've had a few hiccups ourselves this week, but we do make do with what we have.
So what's really cool about this episode is I usually talk to people from different industries, but you are in the recycling industry. Can you kind of tell me and tell the people listening, who you are and what you do?
My name is Mario Martinez. I work for Gowen Field Recycling. I run the recycle program for the Army National Guard for the state of Idaho. So we have different armories and FMS branches throughout the state, and we help facilitate their recycle program.
So you help all the different branches throughout the state too?
Yeah.
Like all the different ones with the National Guard at least, right?
Correct. We have one in, there's one in Pocatello, one in Twin Falls.
One in Caldwell.
Caldwell,
right? Yep.
Mountain Home, Lewiston.
Are each one of those, are they self-sufficient, or they scrap to their local scrap yard, or do you pull it back to your main hub here in Boise, Idaho?
So most everything goes local.
Okay.
Cardboard goes local. Office products, that kind of stuff stays local. Scrap iron stays local. The things that come back here for the most part are the batteries. The lead acid batteries generally come back here.
Okay, so that makes sense because that's something that recurring comes up for bid.
Yeah.
I would say every few months you have a pallet of them. Seems like.
Yeah. We try to keep the battery load right around 14 to 18,000 pounds. It keeps the load smaller. So
smaller, more manageable, and then
Correct.
you can kind of keep it out of your space. Because how big is your warehouse over there?
It is 100 by 60, so it's relatively small, and we've got 2 yards and a storage facility next door to our building. But we're tight for space, so we try to keep the product moving as fast as we can.
And how long have you been over there?
Coming up on 2 years.
Okay.
So,
wow, already, huh?
I know.
I remember when you started, man, and
time flies.
And it's been real nice to work with you when we get the chance to. And it's nice to kind of see the changes you've made over there. Because I've been there before you ran. I'd been over there before, too. And you've really made some big changes to help yourself be more self-sufficient, right?
Yeah.
Where you control, where you deliver your scrap, where you make yourself a little more, I assume, cost-effective.
Yeah.
Because they kind of pulled you in. Your job is to basically make the base as much extra money as they can, right?
Yeah. Okay. So basically how it works is the QRP, which stands for Qualified Recycling Program, we're self-funded. So basically our operating costs get backed out of off the bottom line, and then everything else goes back to MWR, which is Morale, Welfare, and Recreation.
Okay.
So all the money goes back to the troops. So if MWR has a gym facility that they're trying to build, or there's a new rec room or something that they're trying to build, and they, for example, the project's going to cost $200,000, and they have $100,000, then they come to the QRP and they say, hey, we need $100,000. Can you help us out? We send them the funds, and then there it is.
Well, that's awesome. I've never served in the military, but I've always been so pro-military. Both my grandfathers served in Navy Reserves. One of my grandfathers was in World War II. I mean, I got a tattoo for him right here for the Navy. So I got like the utmost respect for all that. And that's why I think the timing of this one's going to be cool, because we are going to post this on the 4th of July.
Nice.
So it's going to be, I think, an awesome fit. And before I really had started working in this Boise facility, I didn't realize how much recyclables, metal, can come out of a base, you know?
Right.
You just get so much. That's just like one piece that no one really thinks of. Like we can go back a little bit. Can you kind of give us a little bit of your background before you were over here?
Yeah, so back in 2000, I think I started in recycling in 2004 or 5.
Okay.
I started out with Pacific Recycling in Great Falls. That's
Okay.
where their home branch is.
In Montana?
In Montana.
Okay.
Yep. And I worked there for 4 years. And
What did you start doing? What was your first job?
I was running the scale, buying stuff from the customers.
Running the non-ferrous scale or the ferrous?
Non-ferrous and
Oh, okay.
yeah, and ferrous. So we'd have to go out and check the loads, going down to the tin pile and scrap iron and make judgment calls.
Yeah.
Buy copper,
Price
brass.
it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Buy copper, brass, aluminum cans, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I started in our non-ferrous recycled center in 2010. So we have a similar like kind of start and background.
Yeah.
And this is so much to learn. And you said you were there 4 years?
Yeah. Well, okay. I knew I wanted. I really enjoy the industry. Right. It's exciting. It's a lot of the same stuff, but you never really know what you're going to get.
It's always different. Always.
Yeah.
It's the same but different.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
And so I knew I wanted to progress my career. I thought I found something that I really wanted to stick with. And things were rather stagnant there. Everybody kind of had a home, but I wanted to grow. So I went to my manager and I said, how do I grow with this thing? And they said, you have to be willing to move. Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
I moved quite a bit as a kid. It's not a big deal to me. So I put my name in the hat for anything that came up, anything, anywhere. And the opportunity came up to help open a branch in Yakima, Washington. So that came up. They sent me out there to look and see if I liked it, loved it, moved the family out there. I was there for 3 years. Okay. In Yakima.
Brand new facility?
Brand new. It had been open a year and a half, I think.
Okay, so that's new in any real business term. You know?
They had a new steel branch,
but
they wanted to make it a combination branch.
Which they do. The Pacific does that a lot. It seems like they kind of double up on them, right?
Yeah, depending on the market and where it's at. Yeah, for sure. And then, so I went out there and lent my knowledge, if you will. We turned the corner and started making pretty good money. I had an opportunity to come to Pocatello. Okay. And basically what Pacific does, well, I don't know if they do it anymore, but they had this curriculum that they put together to groom management. Okay. And so
like a management training.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They called it a junior management program.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, I got in on that, and I started with that. Did pretty well. They moved me to Pocatello to further my knowledge on the day-to-day management aspect of it. I was there for 8 months, and then I was offered the assistant manager position in North Dakota.
That's what brought you to North
Yeah.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went out there and was in North Dakota for 3 years, roughly.
Okay.
And at that point, I thought, I really want to grow, and I wanted to expand my chances of getting my own branch as a manager.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll transfer to New Steel and learn sales and that part of it. So then I could either do New Steel or recycling or a combination.
You're just making yourself more valuable to the company,
Correct.
which any employer or manager would appreciates that in an employee.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I did that, and then the bust happened in North Dakota, and it fell quick.
The 08?
Yeah.
08 bus? Okay.
Yeah, and then, yeah. Well, it would have been around 2015.
Oh, that one. Okay,
Yeah.
not one in 08. Okay,
Yeah.
the 15 one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the oil market kind of fell
Yep.
apart.
Yep.
That was the one that really broke the camel's back, so to speak.
Okay.
And as luck would have it, I was on the chopping block, unfortunately. And then I just drew my bag of tricks and worked a couple different miscellaneous jobs.
Yeah.
Went back to the oil field, actually in the oil field for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then
What were you doing in the oil field?
I was fracking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And did that for a while. It was okay. But I honestly don't remember putting in my resume because they found it on Indeed, and I got a phone call from Chief Walden here in Gowen, and he's like, "Are you still interested?" And at that time, I'd met my current wife and was looking at relocating here anyway, and so it worked out really good. I'm feeling very blessed. So
I love that story. Because so many people fall upon some hard times. You got laid off. And I mean, when you go through anything like that, it's easy to kind of get like down,
Yeah.
But then, looking back now, like you guys live here. I hope you like it in Idaho.
I do.
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life, so I'm kind of biased about it. Like, I love it. I've been to a lot of other places to visit. I wouldn't really want to live anywhere else. So, like, you're in Idaho, you're still working in recycling, and, like, you're managing this facility here.
Yeah.
And that just shows, like, even when the chips are down, man, like, all that hard work you put in for those years at Pacific still paid off. Still paid off here.
Yeah.
And I just think, and my personal opinion is I never really think things happen by chance. I think things happen for a reason.
Very much so.
And like, and you're here for a reason, man. It all worked out for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to college for auto body paint and refinishing, and then I took business management classes because I wanted to own my own custom body shop.
Okay.
And it's great business, but it's brutal on your body. You don't get rich quick. I mean, the reality is very few, like chip.
So you must like cars then.
Oh yeah, I love cars.
Yeah, because I mean, anyway, you gotta have a passion for that.
Yeah.
To start a business like that.
Yeah, and so that was my goal, and I still tinker at home, but the business management classes really paid off.
Yeah.
Big time for me now, so I'm glad I took that route.
So real quick, before we press record, we were talking about another one of your hobbies that I think is pretty cool and interesting. Me being a scrap guy and you being a scrap guy, you see a lot of these in your scrap pile, and you probably came across a bunch when you were at Pacific. So what is your other hobby?
I collect bicycles. It sounds kind of strange.
No,
but,
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I'm not as active as I once was, but at the peak I had about 70 bikes, all different styles and kinds. I had a 42 Sears Roebuck.
Okay.
That was pretty fun. And I fix them up and ride them from
Okay.
time to time. Currently now I'm down to about 4 or 5. So I sold most of them off to finance different moves and stuff. So.
And that's going back to scrap again. Like, that's one thing I love about that show, American Pickers. I love the fact that they go to all these places that I kind of go to, like looking at yard, like farm cleanups, and you come across, like we came across these old motorcycles, which I have, to me it's scrap. I got like, I'm not a collector or anything like that. To me it's scrap, but I find it really cool when you stumble across like something that's worth like 10, 20 grand. You crush it, it's worth like $2-3, you know?
Yeah.
But if you find the right buyer, so I'm sure some of those bikes like could be probably worth some money, right?
Yeah. I've got a 1936 Harvard Roll Fast, and it's just raw metal.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and a fully restored one is worth about $5,000.
Yeah. See, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So getting back to Gowen Field here, what are the main things that get recycled in a facility, in a base like this? Like, what do you mainly see on your day-to-day?
So in the regulations, we have to take cardboard, plastic, office paper, those types of things that we have to take. It's in the bylaws.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of that type of material.
And that's a tough
cans.
market right now.
It's super tough. We do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? And it helps out in the long run.
And it saves on your like garbage. If you threw it away, you'd be accruing those garbage fees. So you're saving at least that too.
Yeah. And I part of it is I have to quarterly do a diversion rate.
Okay.
So we take a sample of the trash bins, we go through it, sort it out, find out what type of recyclables are getting thrown away, and then we compare that to the amounts that we are claiming through our recycle program.
Okay.
And so that helps us know where we can target different offices.
Okay.
And then education, of course, is crucial.
So do you go around all the different departments and kind of go in there and kind of figure out the best way that each one could do, like almost create like a recycling plan for them, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And really what it is locating the location of our recycle bins.
Mm-hmm.
If we have a bin in this copy room, and so we put one in another break room, but it's not getting used, I get with the building managers and find out, okay, where's everybody going?
Yeah.
Because we're finding a lot of recycles in the trash.
Gotcha. Like, why is this recycle bin not being used?
Right.
Right.
And then we try to find a better location for it that it will get used, so we can recapture that material.
Well, that probably keeps you busy, man, because you got a big facility there, and then all the other ones you manage too.
Yeah.
So this Tuesday, we're gonna go look at some scrap, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. It's old material.
Okay.
It's been out there for decades.
Okay.
And there's some material that's been out there since the Korean War time.
Yeah.
And so basically what it is they decommission tanks and Bradleys and things of that nature, pull the engine and tranny, all the liquids out, and they place them randomly out in the desert, and they just shoot it with tanks, and
they do some
500-pound bombs and all kinds of stuff goes on out there. So.
They use them for training. I assume,
Yeah, exactly right. Yep.
And
it's out in the desert.
So you're not even sure the last time they've cleaned up this particular area?
Yeah, the range we're going to look at is last been cleaned up, I think they told me in the 70s.
Okay.
So there's some big, heavy stuff out there. And, we have made the corner. We've started buying some different equipment to help us out, be more efficient and independent. But this stuff, I'm calling on
some of the scrap yards to look at.
The bigger guys to help me
we'll
out
all
with
come
it.
look at it and see who can come away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I appreciate you keeping us in the loop, getting us a chance to bid on that material. I appreciate getting to know you better and also kind of learning how it works over here, because for many years I didn't get a chance to go on base very often, except if it was like like a company working on it that we would work with.
Yeah.
We'd go there. But through the actual recycling program, this has been kind of new the last few years.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to work with you, and I'm excited to check this out Tuesday. We'll bring out some cameras and show everybody, kind of give people a little insight on the recycling that happens at bases, and this is something else. Like, this happens at bases everywhere, right?
Yes.
Every single base.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Every single base in the nation has a program just like this.
Yep.
Do you talk to some of those other recycle programs?
I do.
You do? And you guys kind of help each other?
Last year I went to, they call it AFITS, and I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but basically it's a training class to know what material is recyclable and what stuff is not, that sort of stuff. By regulation, there's stuff that I cannot take. Electronics, certain airplane parts.
Some like classified type stuff.
And the reason for that is that they're worried about somebody reverse engineering something and then being able to use it against us,
Yeah, I get that. And that's why when we've bought things from different auctions and that, we have to provide, even through like governmentliquidation.com.
Yeah.
We'd buy some stuff from them, and they would send people from the base to watch us decommission. Watch us just, they wouldn't let us just like take a video. They would be here the whole time. So I understand like it can be sensitive, and there's a cost to that, so you got to build that into the bid.
Yeah.
And just so everyone's clear, like you don't work for the military. You do, but you don't, right?
Yeah. So I'm a civilian running a military program.
Is that how they all are? Or are there some programs out there that are ran by the military?
Yeah.
So it's kind of both?
Yeah.
Okay,
it just happens that I had the qualifications that they were looking for. The gentleman I took over for was military.
Okay, so he was.
Yeah, and he was on his third retirement.
Okay.
He was ready just to hang it up.
Yeah.
And
he's ready to go fishing.
Right.
Okay, good. Good for him.
And so.
Well, cool, man. Well, is there anything you want to add? Is there one thing that we end on these very often is like, do you have someone that's really inspired you or been a good mentor that growing up that you'd like to kind of give a shout out to?
Yeah, I would probably say my dad.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he
Father's Day was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was he was one of those firm but fair.
Okay.
He was a disciplinarian. Is exactly what I needed in my life, and he taught me the value of $1.
Yeah.
Taught me the value of hard work.
Yeah.
And dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And he had passed on early 90s.
Okay.
And but there's little things that he's
still with you.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That always come back to mind from time to time. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, same here. My dad's taught me so much. I think a lot of people wouldn't be there where they are today if it weren't for their dad or mom.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm excited to get out there on Tuesday.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.